Hi, and welcome to the Vedic Astrology full moon forecast. This is a lunar eclipse for March of 2025. The moon is waxing, the energy increasing. How are you feeling? The moon is waxing. On March 13th at 11:54 p.m., the moon will cross the shadow of the earth and then begin to wane again. Feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, a lot going on, things speeding up but having to slow down, things also suddenly changing, surprises, especially maybe challenging in relationships and communication. Eclipses bring change, transformation, chances for breaking patterns of the past, chances to let go and step into something totally new. But alongside with a lot of other stuff happening this month, including Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde, there can be some pretty unusual circumstances you might be finding yourself in, especially when it comes to relationships. I'm still in India here in the mountains now. You can see up there. This lunar eclipse is falling in the nakshatra of Uttara Phalguni. Uttara Phalguni is a star of relationships, of contracts, of commitments. It's the star that Shiva and Shakti married under, so it's matrimony. It is a very powerful star also for what is dharmic, what is true, what are beyond relationships, what are the karmic commitments, things we trust in around us. And so you may be feeling very foundational questions around what is dependable, what is fixed and stable in your life. Venus retrograde is a time when relationships can be really challenged, or maybe ideas around relationships can feel disappointing, or a sense of being lost or confused. So be really patient right now with partners, friends. Also, this can put pressure on financial situations. Venus is actually one of the karakas, one of the signs of luxury, of wealth. And so often Venus retrograde can make anxiety around economic security. This retrograde is also a time when the paradigm shifts, because she's going from her identity as evening star and becoming morning star in the process. She's dipping down into the sun and burning away, letting go of her old self. This transformation process may heat up more as she gets closer to the sun, to her total combustion, which will be on March 22nd. So this is a pretty unusual time energetically that we're in. And it may feel stressful. One thing particularly is Saturn, which is at the end of his moment in Aquarius here, the very end of his transit, and he's about to go into Pisces on March 29th. And simultaneously he is deeply combust the sun right now. And this can be quite exhausting, even maybe depressing, because Saturn puts limit. He's heavy, and as he's burning up in the sun, there's quite a battle going on. Take it easy. If you are overworked, you may be feeling especially exhausted, frustrated by situations. And so, yeah, these next couple of weeks, it's a time, I think, for stepping back and doing less, being really careful with your energy, being organized with how you spend your energy as much as possible. This lunar eclipse is caused by Ketu, the moksha karaka, the one who liberates. And so letting go of things that are complicated. Also, Mercury is turning retrograde in a few days after this lunar eclipse. Mercury retrograde, of course, notorious for communication problems, computer problems, problems with travel. Not the best time to be processing issues that require a lot of communication or fine detail. This is a time for simplifying, letting go, and going within, and opening to the possibility of something new. I lost my voice a little bit. I'm not sure why. I think it's because the air here is really dry. I'm not sick at all. I'm fine, so don't worry. Saturn is also about to change signs. And so this is the last moments of Saturn's time in sidereal Aquarius. And then he is going to move on the eclipse, the day of March 29th. He's going to step into sidereal Pisces for the first time in 28 years. And so this is a huge paradigm shift. This is going to really change everything in the world, and it has a deep impact on a personal level too, and how it affects your chart, especially if you're in a Saturn dasha. So I'm going to be giving a special class on Saturn's transit in Pisces in mid-April. It's going to include horoscopes for all 12 Vedic signs. Also, one thing about this lunar eclipse that's quite auspicious is that it is the full moon of spring here, the holy full moon. Wow, this cat's really intense. So the celebration of color and life being reborn right now, the flowers that are blooming here in the garden. You know, holy, one of the rituals that is connected to holy is the holika fire, a large bonfire which symbolizes the burning of holika, a demon. These holy fires are a ritual of burning too, of letting go, which I think is really perfect for this lunar eclipse energy that we're in right now, especially with the Venus retrograde and everything. So a ritual that could be very powerful around this lunar eclipse is maybe a little bonfire, or a way to burn something that symbolizes letting go of transformation through the fire. And so maybe writing down people you want to let go of, or people who don't support you, things that you want to let go of into the fire. Also, things that you want to change, ways you want to move forward, can also be put in the fire too. But it's a fire of transmutation, of uplifting from the earth into the sky. And that's what we're doing now as the sun is rising in power into the spring and soon into the summer. So this is a moon that celebrates that as well. So despite its volatility and its transformational energy, there is this essence of life now that we can connect to. So let's just see what the tarot cards have to say about this lunar eclipse coming in Uttara Phalguni. Okay, so the first card that came through is that Saturn card. Wow. Saturn's combustion. And also Saturn's transit into Pisces. This is a huge moment for Saturn. You know, they say the last moments of Saturn in a sign, as we're getting in his last moments of sidereal Aquarius, which is one of his most powerful positions, is that anything that he has left out, it's like his last chance to teach us, to give us. So facing the truth, facing the karma, here's the karmic balance. Being really authentic with what is happening. This is a star of diplomacy, of democracy, of what's fair and just and equal in our relationships as well, and how to keep balanced. And I was saying this is, in eclipse time, it's hard to stay balanced. It's hard to see the balance, and especially since Venus and Mercury now are retrograde. Mercury's about to be retrograde, and there's so much confusion that can happen in our contracts, in our connections. And finally, this last Saturn card again. Oh, wow. Saturn is exalted in Libra. And here Saturn is placed in Pisces, which is actually where he's transiting to. There's the Pisces glyph. Indolence. This card means letting go, detaching, moving on to something new, to something higher, something more spiritual, and that's what Saturn in some ways is about as he moves into Pisces. A very important spiritual passage into the ocean of Pisces. The higher spiritual realms, the higher truth of our emotions, of our needs. Change in government, a change in justice. Within the karmic structure of this world we live in, we are under its rule and law. Letting go of what's no longer appropriate, the old patterns, the old relationships that don't serve you, that don't take you to the higher road, the road that leads to true freedom, to your true self. Allow it to change, allow it to be freed. Powerful lunar eclipse. Maybe something about the government. Do check out my Saturn in Pisces class coming up. I'm definitely going to do it now since I saw these cards. Big change, big paradigm shift. And so check it out. It will be live with live horoscopes, 12 Vedic signs, plus a class on a deeper understanding of what this Saturn in Pisces transit is going to mean for the world. Do get on my newsletter if you haven't already. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. And I do offer one-on-one Vedic astrology readings and tarot readings online. So take care, and I will see you soon.